My name is Mohammed from Crack Cloud, and my video that I'm going to share is just some things that I'm usually curious about when I'm curious about learning about, different computing and visual effects and AI, machine learning, and that's how I've been spending a lot of my time on the internet. The video that I like to share is like a channel called 2 Minute Papers on YouTube, which kind of go over the newest technology and machine learning and how it could impact medicine, art, and whatsoever. So this one is a neat one that is just teaching AI these two 3D characters how to box against each other. And so it teaches them billions and billions of tries, pretty much. They get them to repeat the action over and over again until they learn how to box each other. And it's quite fascinating because they replicate humans very, very easily after a while. So that gets me thinking existentially about who we are and where we're from and how we as a species exist. And so I think all that stuff goes hand in hand. And that's what's curious for me.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2 Minute Papers with Dr. Károly Zsolnai Fehér. Today we are going to see an AI learn boxing and even mimic gorillas during this process. Now, in an earlier work, we saw a few examples of AI agents playing two-player sports. For instance, this is the You Shall Not Pass game, where the red agent is trying to hold back the blue character and not let it cross the line. Here you see two regular AIs duking it out. Sometimes the red wins, sometimes the blue is able to get through. Nothing too crazy here, until this happens. Look! What is happening? It seems that this agent started to do nothing and still won. Not only that, but it suddenly started winning almost all the games.
My name is Al, and the video that I picked is Kanye West's Zane Lowe BBC Radio 1 interview from 2013. So that was 7 years ago now, and it's definitive because of his quote where he says, rap is the new rock and roll. And pretty much since then, we've seen that quote play out into the culture of hip-hop, culture of fashion, the culture of fusion within music. And Kanye West, he was already like a trailblazer for an extremely long period of time prior to that as a producer, as an artist, And pretty much since then, he's become one of the greatest living multidisciplinary artists and architects, composer, what have you. So I think everybody should watch part 1 of that interview and part 2 because it's a holy grail, of honestly everything that's happening right now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to regurgitate myself. I showed people that I understand how to make perfect. Dark fantasy could be considered to be perfect. I say I know how to make perfect, but that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to crack the pavement and make new grounds, sonically and society, culturally.
You've done that with Yeezus. It's fascinating for us to sit here and talk about this record now, because normally when I talk to artists about records of this nature, it's in the lead up to something. So we're all kind of playing a guessing game. You know what I mean? You could tell me what you think of the record, but I'm sort of trying to find my way around it. The audience probably won't have heard it. In this case, it's been out for a minute, so we can reflect on it with the benefit of hindsight too. Yeah. You've seen what everyone else has had to say about this record, both good and bad, but I'm fascinated to know today how you would describe Yeezus as someone who made it, how you would describe that record,
I just think that I'm a production person. Mm-hmm. I'm a product guy. I'm a producer. So if I'm working on a John Legend album, I'm going to try to give John Legend the best, home for him to stay in. And I'm going to try to push Pusha T, no pun intended once again, this keeps happening to me, to make the thing that represents what I like about his music the most. And then for me, as Kanye West, I got to fuck shit up.
Hello, my name is Zach. The video that I'd like to share is a critical analysis of The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I grew up playing role-playing games. Morrowind was the formative role-playing experience for me as a preteen. It was absolutely a crutch, but also a safe space for me to disassociate, escape, and live a second life in a very dense and to this day unmatched alien world. Morrowind is so different from any other role-playing game, and this particular critical analysis is so interesting because it dissects the game from a political perspective, cultural. It goes deep. It's an hour and a half. I listen to it when I can't sleep on tour, and I think that you probably won't enjoy it unless you play RPGs and you care about the deepest, most meticulous nuances of game mechanics and game politics.
At the start of the last decade, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim achieved a level of success most games can only dream of. As well as spawning countless quickly outdated memes and winning the majority of Game of the Year awards in 2011, Skyrim also went on to sell over 30 million copies within its first 5 years, making it the best-selling RPG of all time. That number, 30 million, is pretty big. So big that it might start to lose some of its meaning, so let me provide a bit of context here. Wikipedia has a list of best-selling games of all time. It's not a perfect list. There are sources for all figures shown, but for some games exact sales might not be known, and some figures may be out of date, including for Skyrim itself, which is listed as having 30 million total sales despite reaching that milestone in 2016, and presumably continuing to sell more copies since. However, this list is still useful for providing some perspective, and if you look at this list, you'll see Skyrim is the 19th best-selling game of all time. Not bad.
My name's Jesse. The video that I'd like to share is Navajo flute noises, simply just because it helps me clear my head, calm down, and be a person. That's it, yeah.
Hi, I'm Garnet. The video I chose is Dan Osmond in Memorial, which is a tribute to his life. Dan Osmond was a professional climber in the 80s and 90s, and for me the video is an example of what life can be if we let go of fear.
All over, I am really looking forward to spending some time with my daughter and family and basically parking on the couch for a while because I've been going at Mach speed for quite a while now, and I think it's just a matter of time before things maybe start catching up to you. And I've got this really hardcore group of guardian angels that need a free paid vacation.
So basically, we're just going to go over this plan before we finish up racking, because then we're going to kind of really decide what we need and what we don't need. There's going to be some crazy stuff up here. I'll show you on paper here how we're going to rig the anchor and stuff. So my biggest fear is actually swinging into this hillside. I want to wear you out for hauling the rest of the big hauling stuff. Come off the road! Okay! I'm lagging!
Up. I'm Bryce. I play guitar saxophone with Crack Cloud. I'm going to kick it old school here and actually include a music video. For me, a very formative video is called Jazz on a Summer's Day. It's basically a documentation of Newport Jazz Festival 1958. And just the quality of the music and the time and the feeling that you can get from that film remains very special to me and taught me a lot about music and is one of the reasons why I'm here. And don't want to romanticize a particular period of time because it's not about necessarily the fashion or the just the ideals present in that video, but there's just a lot of soul and just depth in some of those moments, and I think everyone can enjoy it. So I think it's a good note to end on. Thank you.
Now with emotion, technique, precision, and imagination, the music of the Chico Hamilton Quintet. Chico Hamilton.